Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a massive national project, the GBTA initiative. This is a plan that's set to completely reshape how goods, and especially our food, get from the farm to our families right across Algeria.
But, to really get why this is so huge, let's start with a question I think we've all asked ourselves. You're at the market, you see the prices for fresh fruits and vegetables, and you just wonder, why so high? And at the same time, we're always hearing about how much food gets wasted. So how can both of those things be true?
Well, it turns out a huge chunk of the answer is in the journey our food takes. It's often a really long, complicated, and frankly, a flawed path from where it's grown to your kitchen. Let's take a look at what that old road looks like. I mean, just look at this chain of events. It starts with the producer. Simple enough. But then it gets messy. It might go to a wholesaler who takes a cut. Then a semi-wholesaler who adds another layer of cost. Sometimes, believe it or not, there's even a second wholesaler in the mix. And at every single one of these stops, more time is lost, the price creeps up, and the chances of that fresh food spoiling just get higher and higher. And all of this happens before it even gets to the store and, finally, to you.
So yeah, it's not just a long chain. It's really a chain with a lot of broken links. Let's dig a little deeper into the systemic problems that experts have pointed out.
And wow, this slide right here, it just lays it all out, crystal clear. On the left, you've got the old way, these long, tangled chains with too many middlemen, which of course leads to crazy prices and tons of waste. But on the right, you see the GBTA vision. It's direct, it's planned, and that should lead to what we all want, more stable prices and way, way less waste.
So that brings us to the actual blueprint for fixing this whole mess. And we're not just talking about patching a few holes here. This is about building a brand new, totally modern logistics network, literally from the ground up.
And let me tell you, this is a serious commitment. We're talking about a budget of over 320 million euros. This is no small-scale experiment. It's a massive national investment in the country's economic backbone.
So what does that kind of money get you? Well, the plan is to build 30 of these modern logistics centers all across the country. 30 of them! Imagine a powerful, interconnected grid designed to serve every single region as efficiently as possible.
Now, the heart of this entire network is what's called a regional distribution center, or RDC for short. Think of it as the smart hub, kind of the brains of the whole operation. It's not just a boxy old warehouse. It's a sophisticated facility designed to take in goods, store them at the perfect temperature, and then coordinate efficient, scheduled deliveries to all the stores in its area.
And these RDCs, they're just one piece of a much bigger, multi-layered system. As you can see, you've got these huge national hubs in your ports to handle the big shipments. Then you have the RDCs, which act as the regional backbone. But it gets even more local with urban cross-docks for quick city restocks and even rural collection points designed to get produce from the farm into the system almost immediately, cutting waste right at the source.
Now let's take a peek inside one of these RDCs, because this is what makes them so effective. You've got these dedicated zones for every single type of product. There's an ambient or room temperature zone for things like grains and packaged goods. Then there's a chilled zone for all your fresh produce, dairy, and meat. And of course, a frozen zone for frozen goods. It's this complete, unbroken cold chain that's absolutely crucial for cutting down on spoilage and making sure the quality is top-notch.
All right, so we've got the blueprint, we've got the budget, and we know what's inside these amazing centers. But what does the new journey for our food actually look like in practice?
Just compare this to the old way we looked at. It's like night and day, right? 4 simple, clean, efficient steps. Producers get direct contracts, no more guessing games. Their goods go to one central RDC. Orders are professionally packed and shipped out on a planned schedule. And the result? Fresh products showing up at your local store reliably and on time. Fewer middlemen, less waste, and a whole lot more efficiency.
So this all sounds great from a logistics point of view, I get it. But let's talk about the real-world payoff. What does a massive project like this actually mean for farmers, for business owners, and, let's be honest, for you and your family? For farmers and local producers, this is an absolute game changer. They finally get a direct, clear, reliable way to sell their products. They can get stable contracts, which lets them plan for the future. And because the whole system is so much faster, they lose way less of their hard-earned harvest to spoilage. And this network is also a massive leg up for small and medium-sized businesses. All of a sudden, they have access to world-class logistics without needing to spend a fortune building their own warehouses. They can just plug into the GBTA network and get back to focusing on what they do best:
growing their business.
And finally, for all of us, the consumers, what's in it for us? Well, this system is designed to mean better availability of products on the shelves, much higher quality food, especially fresh food, and more stable prices. Why? Because you're cutting out all that inefficiency and waste that was driving costs up in the old system.
So, the big question is, when does all this actually happen? Well, this isn't some far-off dream. The entire project is mapped out on a concrete 3-year timeline, and it's designed to build momentum and get results one step at a time.
The first year is all about the pilot phase, mapping everything out, launching the very first distribution center, and getting a handful of stores online to really test the system. Then in year 2, it expands regionally, with 3 to 5 more of these centers coming online, and by the 3rd year, the plan is for a much wider rollout, expanding the network and turning it into a true national force for efficiency.
It's an incredibly ambitious vision. There's no doubt about it. It's a fundamental rewiring of the nation's economic arteries. And I think it's all summed up perfectly in the project's own powerful tagline, a call to build a more efficient, more prosperous future together. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.